Hi. When I was 12, my grandpa died. Don't feel too bad, he did it to himself. He was the kind of guy who, after having multiple heart attacks, when told he had to change his habits so he wouldn't fucking die, he would pour a boatload of salt onto his giant breakfast of bacon and sausage, and then treat the kilometer walk to get the mail like cardio. I absolutely love the man, but holy shit. I was developmentally delayed as a kid, so I was pretty bad at being alive for the first 12 years of my life that he knew me, but I still loved him. And he still loved me all the same. Sometimes I wonder if he would love the version of myself that I grew up to be. I like to think, and I have reason to believe, that yes, he would, but I'll never know. And that's just the unfortunate reality. It's not fair. Loss rarely is. And denial of it can make you distort the world, make you stop thinking rationally, make you think that's, oh, what's that? Another tech bro is doing some dumb shit?
This baby unicorn was like your mom because she didn't know that she knew how to fly, but she knew how to do all kinds of fabulous things.
I don't know if I can say what I want to happen to the person who made this without getting a community guideline strike? What the actual fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Two Way, an app that made me physically nauseous during the trailer. We see a young woman taking a 3-minute recording of her mother on her phone, attempting to capture the essence of her soul and plug it into a digital prison. Then her mother dies at some point, but that doesn't matter because now she's living on this woman's phone. It can help her through her pregnancy. I am scared.
Put your hand on your tummy and hum to him. You used to love that.
As if that wasn't bad enough, she keeps talking to the computer's best estimation of her mother while raising the baby, getting her to read the same bedtime story to him that she also told her. Where did the AI get that information from a 3-minute video? Who the fuck knows? Did Two-Way get permission to just harvest all her fucking memories? I could believe it. This isn't even addressing the fact that she's raising her kid to not only be a world-class chronic iPad baby, but someone who will be so attached to the interactive shell of a person he never fucking met. And we see that coming to fruition when he's 10 years old, talking to his grandma on the way back from school. The digital prison extended to his own futuristic cell phone now. He tells her about making a good shot in basketball, and she asks how things are going with his crush. All very normal things to talk to with people in your life, and ideally, not a machine manipulating you into an emotional connection with a woman you never met while harvesting your words for all the data they can squeeze out of you. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on. The final scene chronologically is the baby all grown up, 30 years with a baby of his own on the way. The pseudo-grandma gives the same advice to calm the baby that she gave his mother all those years ago, and then this happens.
You would have loved this moment.
You can call anytime.
Words cannot describe the sinking feeling in my stomach when I hit this part. The rational part of his brain knows that this thing is not his grandma. Bro has been talking to a ghost in the shell for nearly his entire life, and even when he pushes against it by remembering that she's not real and she's not here, the AI continues egging him on to keep engaging with character AI gone rogue. I think whoever directed this video was probably thinking this would be a sweet self-aware moment like the end of the Friend necklace commercial, but it just comes across as the techno-feudalist overlords being fully aware of our knowledge about and thusly distrust for AI and being like, we don't care, use it anyway. This trailer was the fucking harrowing, obviously. It got blasted everywhere it was posted, and rightfully so. I don't have to explain how profiteering off of someone's digitized corpse is an inherently bad thing. But I think the worst part to me is that we had such ample warning not to do this. Be Right Back is an episode from the second series of Black Mirror that aired almost 13 years ago today. It follows the adventures of two lovebirds, Martha and Ash, getting ready to live out their cottagecore fantasy until one of them gets got by Britain's best driver. At the funeral, Martha's friend recommends a new online service. If you give them your deceived loved one's likeness alongside their entire digital footprint, they'll make a chatbot of him that you can talk to. Maria, rightfully so, is like, no. However, after learning she's got a bun in the oven and also that she's pregnant, she decides to try it. From there, we see the beginning of pseudo-AI psychosis. Within moments of texting a computer's wobbly amalgamation of Ash's thoughts, she becomes addicted to it. It's like he's back again. They start chatting, reminiscing on the good times that they used to have and that they can even have going forward now that they're talking again. This continues for a few days until the chatbot of Ash encourages her to upgrade her plan so they can talk via voice. And when that's no longer enough for her, she gets encouraged to get a literal android of her deceased husband. All the while, Martha is screening and ignoring calls from her sister, who is desperately trying to get in touch with her to talk about her husband's death. But why would Martha talk to her? She has Ash back. Why would she need help processing the real grief of losing a human connection when she has technology to fill it instead? As the days go by with Robo Ash, things seem fine. He's learning the nuances and physicalities of Martha's husband and also fucks her good, but it's finally at this stage when Martha begins to realize things aren't quite right. She begins to notice that Robo Ash has all the qualities that made him great, but not necessarily the ones that made him Ash. The service only got to use his social media posts and online communication, so of course there'd be very few negative personality traits in there. The robot is guesstimating who he was based on his curated view of himself that he shared with the world, not the imperfect self he was alone with his wife. It can't compute that real people want the negative aspects of a person because that's part of what makes up the person. Even when she tells him to leave the house and Robo Ash obliges, she can't help but think about how Ash wouldn't just leave her like that even if she told him to. Ash would know if his wife was a mega distressed to stay there with her even if she was pushing him away. But the Robo Ash doesn't do that. Eventually things come to a head. She realizes that they have no history together, that this can't work, and Martha tells Robo Ash to literally jump off a cliff. Robo Ash once again goes to do so without argument, but Martha can't help but blurt out how the real Ash wouldn't ever do something like that. He'd be way too scared to jump. So of course Robo Ash suddenly develops fear and starts begging Martha not to make him do it, to which she just... A few years go by after Martha has her daughter. It's just the two of them alone in the house right now, but since it's the daughter's birthday, she asks if she can bring some cake up to Robo Ash. Because yes, Robo Ash still exists. Martha couldn't bring herself to make Robo Ash jump off a cliff, so he just lives in the attic now. The daughter is happy and very friendly with Robo Ash, but you can tell evidently that to this day, Martha is still very uncomfortable to be around him.
Mom! Yeah, I'm just coming.
Martha couldn't get over Ash. The grief was too much. What happened to Ash was such a complete freak accident that she couldn't rationalize within her life story. It wasn't fair. Loss rarely is. And denial of it can make you distort the world, stop thinking rationally, make you think that if you believe hard enough, if you agree to what you're offered, maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll suddenly exist again. But they won't. It can take time to realize that, but they simply won't. What's important during that time is that you have a good support network there that can help you process your grief properly, process your pain in a healthy way that both strengthens your bond with the friends and family you still get to have in life, and build back stronger knowing you'll keep living the life they would want you to have without them. That's what Martha's sister was trying to do. She was trying to be there for her sister who was going through hell. All you can assume she wanted was to ensure that her sister was okay and processing her grief normally, but Martha rejected it, and she was given a perfectly valid excuse to do so. She didn't need to process her grief because now that she has Ash back, there was nothing to grieve. Ignore the fact that he'll never have the nuances and inconsistencies that made him human. Ignore the fact that you can't have history together to look back on. Ignorance is bliss. But how can this be bliss? In the episode we just talked about, reminder, that was from 2013. In the latest season of Black Mirror, there's a similar episode, except not only is it now a subscription service you have to pay monthly for in order for your spouse to not die, but if you get the base tier subscription, your spouse will just start advertising to you.
Have you tried espresso grande? The beans are roasted slow and long for a richer, smoother taste.
Can't say that I have.
Can't say that you have what?
The series ends after the husband of the woman who needed to get the service to survive resorts to essentially doing an average kick stream every night to scrape the money together to keep it going. It ends with her finally deciding she doesn't want to live like this anymore. And the final scenes are him smothering her with a pillow while she aggressively advertises a fucking therapy service to him. Can you imagine you're venting to your mother's corpse and she starts telling you aren't you when you're hungry? Sure, you can turn off the ads, but have fun paying $100 a month to keep talking to the loved one that today's techno-feudalist infrastructure won't let you mourn properly. And if you stop paying for it, cool. Now the only person with a full construct of your dead relative is some AI tech company that can just sell that data to data brokers and make a quick buck. I've been on and off writing a video for the last couple months going in depth into how generative AI things work, because I've always had a little bit of an interest in machine learning and I want to arm people with the understanding of how it actually functions so they have the vernacular to interface with their hatred for it. I'm not going to make that video anymore because it feels redundant. You don't need to understand how LLMs are basically just pattern recognition machines or exactly how a diffusion model generates an image from random noise to understand that the technology is being used to do the most evil shit you can possibly imagine. Understanding how an engine works should not be the first priority when the vehicle it's inside of is actively running you over. We don't need to worry about the AI apocalypse. It's already here. Every facet of the human experience is being corroded away by tech CEOs looking to make a quick buck off of venture capital. The AI bubble has gone past financial motivations. They've already guaranteed that the economy is going to crash once it bursts. Now it's going for the next valuable commodity we have as consumers. It's coming for our souls. And it's getting easier not for just tech CEOs to see it, but with things like Sora 2 being available free of charge for anyone to generate what they want, utilizing anyone's likeness as they please, you just can't assume it won't happen to you anymore. The honeymoon period of ChatGPT making funny stories about whatever you want, or DALL-E putting a horse on the moon are astronomically far behind us. I used to think that generative AI was just the next step in technology, that we should learn to cooperate with it and find out how to use it in the best, most ethical way possible. Fuck that. The fact that a tech CEO was suggesting without a hint of irony that people would want an application to puppet the corpse of my grandpa around and keep him in my pocket for whenever it's convenient for me is fucking harrowing and inconsolably ghoulish. I wish I had a funny outro or an inspirational thing I could say to alleviate the burden of what I just thrust upon you, but I don't. This is the reality we live in now. And either it keeps going on and finding new ways to efficiently suck our souls out of our bodies for profit, or the AI bubble pops and everything crashes on a global scale. Either way, it's not good. So if you take away anything from this video, it's to hold on to yourself. We live in a time where we don't have ownership over anything anymore. And I don't just mean in terms of physical property and software subscriptions. Every thought or memory you make that you want to share over the internet will get fed into either an algorithm designed to sow distrust and hatred amongst each other, or an AI slot machine churning out brain-rotting content for easy money. Most likely both. Once you put it online, it is no longer yours. So keep the innermost parts of yourself safe. Share them with who you care about, and don't blast them into an ether that will just crush it into meaningless garbage and give a husk of it back to you. Don't lose what makes you you. It's harder than ever to keep a hold of, but it's worth holding on to. If you want proof that it's worth it, the people making technology like this want to take it and mangle it beyond repair for their own benefit. Don't let them.